careful what you say to the client and what kind of expectations you set for the client, right? If you tell them, oh yeah, we're offering 4%, the client automatically thinks he's going to get the 4%. He's not thinking about, right, ranges. He's not thinking about how he qualifies or she qualifies. And so it's how you position things, right? So for instance, you're asking, does the lender typically lend 100% of the rehab budget, to where we can say to you, yes, right? You got to stop and consider what you're saying to the client, right? We don't know for sure that the lender is going to cover 100% of the rehab budget for the client. And so what we really want to gather from the client is, do you have cash reserves? Do you have experience? Do you have money in the bank? Are you a qualified applicant? Right? Because we need to yes, it's possible we can cover 100% of the rehab. Yes, it's possible we can get you a low interest rate. But at the end of the day, it comes down to what you qualify for. And this is often overlooked, right? So if I may, and if you guys can all see the text here, right? We enter this space thinking that we need the lead, right? Especially if you're new to the industry, right? You come in and you immediately assume, well, hang on a second, I need to go find leads. And then finally I found a lead. Here we go. It's week 1, week 2, whatever, and I'm talking to somebody who wants money, and now you go into customer service mode. And you think that you need to give the best customer care, and you need to answer all the questions, and you need to be, that is a losing, failing attitude. It sounds positive, but it's not going to have a positive result. This is all wrong, okay? What you need to understand is that these clients, they need us, not the other way around. They need you. They need you to provide funding so that they can do business. If you're looking at it like you need them so that you can provide them funding so that you can earn a commission, you're going to lose, period. This is a very, very, very common mistake. And you can get stuck in this mindset, this losing mindset of constantly trying to help everyone, where really you need to have more of a sharper teeth than that. You need to focus on the gold. Sift through the dirt, the mud to find the gold. If it's a rock, throw it back in the river and keep going. Why are you wasting your time on a rock? You're trying to find gold. Right? And so it's very, very important that we understand this. So when we're talking to our clients on the phone, we've got to understand what our mindset should be. We've got to understand, right, that we got to get rid of our customer service mentality. We need to change our mindset. We need to turn the tables on the client. We need to change the client's mindset as well. Right? They're coming in thinking they're in control. They're coming in thinking, or at least acting, like you need them. Like they hold the cards. Right? They don't hold the cards. You hold the cards. They can't get this project. They're on a limited amount of time to get the deal funded, to do business, to make money, to flip the property, whatever it is. If they don't get their funding, they're out of luck. Right? So when they get on the phone and they start being all tough with you, you got to push back and just say, listen, these are our rates and ranges. I don't know what you're going to get. Right? This is our coverage. I don't know what you're going to get. What we need to understand is, who are you? How much experience do you have? How much cash do you have? If you don't have cash, do you have equity that we can eject cash out of so we can put money in your pocket so you can bring money to the table here? Because if you can't, next. And that's the way we need to think about this. And that's the way the client needs to understand. Absolutely. We're competitive nationwide. We can get the job done. Not a problem. Our best clients get the best pricing, the best terms, the best rates, all of the things. But where do you qualify? I don't know. I need information from you. I need our intake form filled out. We need to conduct a proper survey. Super important. Very, very overlooked. Very, very overlooked. Oh, you want money? Terrific. Here's my intake form. Now I'm just going to sit back, put my feet up, let my team leader do the work, and then get upset when it doesn't turn into money. That's a losing, failing attitude. You've got to conduct a proper survey. You've got to analyze your intake form and understand what questions we're asking. What are acceptable answers? What are not acceptable answers? What does your ideal client look like? What are their needs? What is their liquidity? What is their experience? Are you picking up information about their geolocation? What kind of properties are getting funded and getting through the door? Which ones aren't? Where they're located? This is important stuff. This is very, very important stuff. Commonly overlooked. Commonly overlooked. And it's all about mindset. It's all about how you're thinking about it. It's all about what your process is. You've got to quickly determine if who you're talking to is a complete and utter waste of your time. Do you want to submit that data to your team leader? Right? Because right now we have our CRM, right? We have thousands and thousands and thousands of business owners and real estate investors in our CRM. Not all of it is good data. If this was your business and it's your CRM and you hire people under you and you want those people to re-attack and retarget clients from the past, but you have poorly qualified data in your CRM, are you going to be able to convert that data into gold? Or is it just wasting space? What is the cost of storage in your CRM based on the number of contacts you have? Have you considered these things? We call that bleeding, right? You're bleeding money because you're storing things that have no monetary return. And so perspective is everything. And this is why here at ION, we teach you how to be a broker before we give you a blueprint on how to build a brokerage. Our competitors give you a blueprint on how to build a brokerage before you're a broker. You're doomed to fail. It's never going to work. The goose doesn't come before the egg. Right? And so it's very, very important that we follow the right order of operations. It's very important that we qualify good data, we bring in good data, we pay attention to that data, we make data-informed decisions. We improve our base of knowledge. We improve our intake process, our survey, right? Our line of questioning, how we view the answers that come in, that we turn the tables on the client, right? That we be the leader. Always, right? That we be the leader. And it's a lot of responsibility to be the leader. You have to have your ducks in a row. You have to know what you're talking about. You have to know what you're doing. And you can't be afraid to fail. You can't be afraid to make mistakes. And those are the building blocks of success. You've got to go through it. I very much respect those that come in, like Terry, for instance. Terry comes in, he pulls out his calculator, he starts throwing out numbers in a scenario and trying to work out how it all works and comes together live in front of other people. And he's not afraid to make a mistake to get to the answer. Terry's getting his money's worth. Terry's ahead of the game. And he's going to be able to do that in front of the client because he's comfortable doing that in front of us. And that's what it takes. That's the experience it takes to be successful. That's the mindset it takes to be successful. So that when the client comes to him and starts pulling out the calculator, Terry's on fire, ready to go, just the way Christopher was ready to go in answering those questions. That's what it takes. So ask yourself, are you challenging yourself to improve in these areas? To be able to take on these kinds of things, right? Not to worry, in the future we're going to have workshops designed around these things to improve these skill sets, to my points earlier in the beginning of the call. But it's very important to start thinking this way and start paying attention to these things. You see, there's two levels here of support that we're offering you. Okay, I don't know what just happened there, but one is the nuance, the answers to the nuance, right? The questions you have around the products, right? We just took a look at how all that works. But then there's mindset. And based on the data that's coming in, and Gerald Phillips can tell you all about this, how we focus on primarily the program itself, the product, the setup, right? But not so much on mindset, because we believe we need to focus on what makes us money, right? And that's the program itself, the product, the leads, the lead generation, all of these things. But if you don't have the right mindset, you're not going to succeed with everything else. You're just not, because you're not thinking about it the right way. You know, we have veterans who have been with our program for a while. They've gone through these trials and tribulations. They know what I'm talking about right now because their mindset was wrong. Right? We can give you the tools, we can open the door for you, but you have to walk through it. And it's more challenging than you think. And the challenge is yourself, is the mindset, how you go about thinking about these things. Right? What your challenges are, identifying what these issues are, right? Identifying what your workflow looks like today, where your strengths are, where your weaknesses are, how you can improve, whatever it is. You've got to attack these problems head on, attack them. And if you can't identify them, that's the biggest problem you have, right? So you got to bring yourself under constant scrutiny and shine a light in those dark areas to see what's going on and constantly stepping outside of that box, that comfort zone. Anyway, I hope this is resonating with all of you. We do need to end the call a little bit early today, so we do have time for a couple of questions, and then we're going to wrap up. But I want to leave you with the final note of be a closer, right? Be a closer. And a closer thinks the way I just described, okay? You have got to challenge yourself, challenge the client, take control of that conversation, help the client understand that they need to be forthcoming with information that they are applying with you. You are not applying with them, right? And to have a mindset that, you know, I'm going to succeed at this. I'm going to win the deal. I'm going to close the deal. I'm going to fund the deal. But understand that controlling that outcome starts with you and your mindset, how you go about thinking about these things. And do you have the information, or are you on the road to gathering the information to get to a place to where you can be that closer? Do you possess that knowledge? If you're not, I suggest you put on your running shoes and get going, because it's a journey, and for some it's expedited and it's quick, and before you know it, you're making money. For others, you're dragging your feet, and it can be slow. It just comes down to what you're willing to do. So anyway, questions in this area?